Ayla, Sanda, welcome to my channel. Today is our new year. This is Alfablot. Enjoy. Hail to the east, we welcome you. We welcome you with your thoughts and your planning and your new paths. We welcome you this day, which is our new year. Hail and welcome. Welcome, fire in the south. We welcome you this day into this our circle. We thank you for the fire of aspiration that you will give to us for the following seasons. Hail and welcome, water in the west. We welcome the emotions of the following year to come. We welcome your aspect this day. Hail and welcome, north, stability. We welcome you this day into the circle for the fruits of thy womb and the fruits of the death of our loved ones, our ancestors. We welcome you this day. Hail and welcome to all of you. Hail to Freya, hail to Odin this day. May the circle be cast, may the circle be bright, may the circle be full of hope, may the circle be right. I cast this circle in love and light. Hail Freya, hail Freya. We come this day before your altar and we give praise for the new year. We give our joy in the coming days ahead. But we also know it is a time of rest and a time to come to terms with our deepest inner selves. We think about those who have passed before us, and as a symbol of that, we do have rosemary in remembrance. Rosemary in remembrance. Think of the loved ones who have passed, and we thank you for that we cherish, and we ask that they be present with us this day as we turn to the north east, the gate of death, the gate of life ending and life beginning. We ask that those that are present with us, who we have known and loved, take part in this, our ceremony, our ritual today. Hail and welcome, guys, to the here. Today is a special celebration. Today is our new year, but it is also Alfablot. And you might ask, what is Alfablot? Alfablot in England is called Elf Offering. We have tiers. Now the reason I've put that on there, because it instigates, or it is a representation of the warrior's rune. Now the warrior's rune to me indicates those who have passed and have gone to Valhalla and places like that, those that have struggled in their lives but have come to a fulfillment and made through the battle. It is also a warrior's path for the following year to come, for we do not know what is about to occur. So again, that is why I picked that. It is upside down because I'm honouring those who have passed, so that's great. But I've also got Gibo on here. That to me is about love, and love is the message that I bring to the elves today. For without love we cannot make pacts, we cannot do what it is we need to do. You might ask, why do we think about the elves? Well, in the northern traditions the elves do come in very strongly, but I want to do it from the aspect of where we live in England. People do believe in fairy folk. If you've had dealings with them, then you will know they do actually exist. And I have personally had dealings, and people that I know have had dealings, so I know they do really exist. And in the shamanic path we relate to all forms of life, all life forms from different realms. And so I give honour and pay homage and make a pact every year, because you don't want to get on the wrong side of the elves, the light elves. I don't go into the dark elves, the light elves. They will become your friends. They will be very, very good for you and your household and the family members if you get on the right side of them. And I'm not saying you have to bribe them or anything like that, but giving them honour and giving back what they give to you. It's a two-way thing. If you upset them in the wrong way, you will know they exist. They will get into your home, they will bring disaster and financial issues and illnesses and all sorts of stuff, normally in the form of fire. They don't do it because they are malicious, but if they have been offended in any way, or they are very upset as a community, because they don't come in ones. If you've got one, they'll be in a group. So what I normally do is make this pact. Now, it can be done in different ways. The way that I do it is symbolically. You can write it and burn the piece of paper, or you can symbolically do it through the candle. You can then bury the ashes. You can take a stone. Now I have an obsidian stone, which is very, very spiritual. And what I would do with this, I will then make a pact over this stone. I will then take it outside and bury it by the street door or the back door, whatever door you want. And this will show them you mean what you've said. It is a pact. You can retrieve the stone the following year, if you can find it, of course, if they haven't taken it. You can always also leave an offering for them in the form of food. You may start to see owls, which is very irregular in England, or you might hear one. They normally show in that form to some sort of bird or an owl. In England you probably won't see the owl, but you might hear one, which is unusual. You will know if you hear that it is actually them acknowledging you. Things will start to brighten for you, and you will feel that you are getting a little bit of extra help in your life, which is absolutely amazing, really cool. What I would like to do is now do not a path working as such where you're going to go off, but a little story to help you to visualise them and understand what they are actually about. So take a deep breath in through the nose and just relax, because this is more of a story than anything else. I'm going to tell you the story of the little elf that wanted some help. It was cold and it was snowing, and the people inside the house were really happy because they had fire and they had food on their plates, and they had the warmth and the joy of family around them. They didn't think about what was going on outside of their window or their door, for to them they were within their household and didn't give it much thought. Outside was a little elf that had lost his way and couldn't find home, and he hadn't been prepared for a long journey and was very cold. This little elf decided to turn into a small bird. He went up to the door of these people and he tapped on the door. Nobody opened the door. He tapped again at the window this time. They looked out the window to see what was going on. They couldn't see anything but this little bird. And they just thought it was a bird pecking at the window and thought no more of it. By this time the mother had all the crumbs from the bread that she was clearing up off of the table from their feast, and all the rind off of the meat. Instead of throwing it out, that they would burn it, which they did. This little bird, who was really the elf, was watching them. He knew that they were not concerned about his welfare. He was so upset because he knew he had to find somewhere warm. He suddenly heard these footsteps, and he turned round and there was a little lady with a basket walking along very haphazardly in the snow because it was slippery. And she saw this little bird and she said, "Hello, little bird. I feel sorry for you. You must be so cold." She said, "But I can't do anything about that, but I can give you my last piece of bread to help you, to sustain you till you find refuge." And with that, she took her last piece of bread, which she was going to have for her tea, and she gave it to the little bird. He was so full of joy that this human had given him her last meal. And with that, he turned into the little elf and he said, "Thank you so much for helping me. Would you mind giving me a lift in your basket to the nearest oak tree?" So she said, "That's fine," and he hopped into her basket and off they trundled. As they were walking along the path, two little elves was coming along, a mummy and a daddy elf, and they knew that he was safe, that she looked after him. And with that, they said to her, "You have helped our boy. You have saved his life and brought him home to us. And because of this, we would like to make a pact with you. For those who help us, that we will help you. And for the following year, we will do things to help you, to aid you in your food and your home and your family. And in respect of that, all we ask is that you aid the local wildlife by giving them food that you don't want and drink that you don't need and things like that, and just to keep an eye on those that need help like you've done today. Yes, I would love to make a pact with you and aid you, and you may find refuge in my garden and my home at any time." With that, they smiled and they said, "The pact is done. All you do is break this little stick and we have a pact." With that, she broke the little stick and they disappeared. She felt so full of joy, but knew that she was going home to a cold refuge with no fire, no food. And she started to walk home. As she got near her house, light, and when she walked in, there was fire in the hearth and there was food laid out on the table. a feast. She thought, where's this come from? A little voice in her head said, remember the pact. And with that she sat down and took her shoes off and toasted her toes in front of the fire and ate this beautiful feast. We now go back to the other family who didn't have their thoughts on what was going on outside of their circle. What happened to them? Well, they lost everything. They had no food. In the next month they had no heat, and their cabin fell to pieces and caught fire, and they didn't know why. They went along to find another place to build a home and bumped into the little lady, who promptly told them her story, and they realised with shock the little bird was really an elf, and they should have aided him. In fact, not mattering what creature it was, they should have aided them. Instead of throwing the food into the fire, they should have let the little bird have it, and they didn't. They felt really sad. And they said, is there any way out for us? And she said, yes. Start to look after the nature around you. Start to look forwards and around you, not just at yourselves. And you may find you too can have a pact in the new year, next year, with the elves, and they will help you. There you go, my friends. I hope you enjoyed that little story. I thought it would be great because that way you can get a sense of why we do it. To keep your eyes open, to look around you. It might not be the animals that need help. It might be a human that's on the street. It might be a dog that's not got a home. It might be a bird that has no food in the garden. It could be anything, but it could really be an elf in disguise. So it's always good to keep your heart for others rather than just yourself. But on a great note, this is the Witch's New Year too. The Celts believe that this is the new year, and as such we make merry and we have joy. We have invited the dead, and we have invited our ancestors and our deities, and we have all the things on the altar to give praise and worship to that. So at this precise moment I now want to give an offering, and as such I'm lifting this now, and I am going to bless this piece of food. I bless this food in the name of Odin, Freya. I bless this food with joy and peace and love and light and all that is of me, to fulfill that of the gods this day, and the elves especially. I give you this offering today of my love. I give this offering to those who have passed. The apple, which is not only the apple of life, but from the tree of death, the apple tree. We leave this also as an offering. Odin, specifically, whisking great god of warriorship who doesn't really eat, I give you this in honour today. Whiskey with apple. I bless all of this offering in the names of the great ones. I give blessings and my love, and I hand it to you for the new year, for prosperity, for good for the following year. Please take this offering I give you to the White Elves, I give you my pledge today, White Elves, that I will sustain anything that comes to me in need, from nature to human, from human to God. And I will do my best to give shelter, food and warmth to those in need. I give you my pledge this day. Please accept my pledge. I ask this of you. And so I take this obsidian stone as my pledge stone, and I put my intent into this stone now. This stone I will place outside of my street door, just by the step, as my pact. If it is there next year, I will take it back and give you something different. But if you do take it, I am thrilled, for it will mean you can use this for whatever use you wish. My gift to you. Hail and farewell to all of you who have been part of my ritual this day. I thank you. I wish you well. And I bid you all farewell. North, we thank you for being here and aiding us with the mounds of death earth, but the mounds of earth and the stability of earth. Hail and farewell, air, for your love and for your presence, for our future year. We thank you for being with us, and we bid you hail and farewell. Fire, for that within us that will burn strongly for the following year. We thank you that you came and fired this ritual today. Thank you, and we bid thee hail and farewell. Water, west, wonderful water of emotion, that you came and you filled us with love and joy and understanding for the following year ahead. We bid thee hail and farewell. To the gods, the helpers, the ancestors, to those who come from the other side, we now tell you it is time for you to return to the realms from which you came. And we thank you that you spent time with us today. We bid you hail and farewell. Hail and farewell. Hail and farewell. Okay guys, I hope you enjoyed it, spending time in this ritual today. It was different, like most things that I do. It was something I wanted to do with the elves, but I also wanted to mark, out of respect, all the stuff that is also celebrated elsewhere. But I also wanted to put the England part to it, because we are part of the Nordic path, but also the English path. And so even though we have the Northern Territory path within us, we also have the English path within us, so it makes us slightly different. But it doesn't mean we can't still have the same gods, same goddesses, the same types of traditions, done slightly different. So I thought it'd be good to put it across in that way. So I hope you're all well. Thank you to any new subscribers, and thank you to those that have come back, and to those that always watch. Thank you, wherever you are, whatever time of day, night or evening it may be. I wish you the best ever. House of the Lag. Happy